Today I bent hinges out of flat metal for my heavy cabin door build. I'm going to tell you all about it, but first I'm going to pick up hay and stop by Collier's Roofing. Morning guys, the sun's coming up. I'm headed out to pick up 2 bales of hay for the horses and pigs, and I'm going to grab that one last piece of fascia from Collier's Roofing at their metal shop. Here we are at Lonesome Valley Ranch. Probably my favorite place to get hay in all the time I've lived off grid out here in the high desert of Arizona. It's owned by Chris. He's a really nice guy. It's a family run business. They have quality hay and fair prices. Not too far away is Collier's Roofing, and that's where we're headed next for a piece of flashing for the cabin. Here's the metal shop for Collier's Roofing, and no trip to town would be complete without stopping to get feed for the animals and maybe a few items for myself. Sit. Good sit. Sit. Good girl. Steps. Sit. Good boy. No matter what you do, you still have chores at the end of the day. See how dried out it looks? Well, it is dried out on the surface. Very much so. Look, there's something green on, oh no, never mind. But just under the surface though, it's nice and wet down there. Few, 2-3 inches down. And that's the point of having all the mulch and compost on top, is nutrients and water retention. I don't even need a catio because the cats think this is their house. They're always tearing it up in here. I might have to block them off from it better, but... Or... watch. Oh, yeah, it's going out through the little cat door he made. I don't know. Maybe it's good they're in here and I just gotta cat-proof the garden. These are nice and wet. I trimmed this back. I don't even remember. It's a mulberry, I think. Mulberry tree. I need to turn these. So the ones up there I've turned and then added mulch and compost. And these are just been sitting like this for a year. So I need to clean up in here and plant some more seed. There goes the other cat. This is definitely the cat house. It's a lot warmer in here. Someone said the other day, try aquaponics, and I have the full system here. There's even mint still in here through the whole winter. I just haven't had a good enough solar system to keep this thing running all the time. And it might work with this, but this battery won't. It's not rated to run when it's freezing. So it just shuts off constantly, And, let's see. Yeah, see, the geothermal wasn't even running, but it is now. I just need to move a nicer system over here, and then I can run the geo and the aquaponics 24/7. That might give you an idea. That's about 20 feet above ground, and then we're quite a way underground, so it provides plenty of water pressure when I connect this system to just automate all the water through the entire homestead. Even the pig water, horse water, all that can be automated completely. I just need to dig down and put in a system that can't possibly freeze for the winter to run it all year. In order to hang the cabin door, the first thing I had to do was cut a little bit off of the bottom so I could center everything, and I used a shim so I could space the door to hang it appropriately. I picked up 20 feet of flat metal from the scrapyard not too long ago, and that's because I wanted some heavy duty hinges for the cabin doors, and it was going to cost me $200 to buy anything that would be even close, and I'm able to make these for way less money. I mean, maybe 40 bucks for 8 hinges for 4 different doors. I tried a torch and a good old-fashioned vise to bend these just out of curiosity, would it work? And it didn't work out so well, so I fired up the propane forge. I thought I still might need the vise, so I went and got some new screws to really lock it down to the post that I've got 3 feet in the ground. I'm no blacksmith, and I've never bent hinges before, so I was just testing it out to see how it would work. I had bent it in the vise, and then I kind of hammered it down, and then I decided I needed to just mark these all the same and throw them in to the forge, and then move them over to the anvil and bend them that way. The point is to build a very extremely strong hinge that can go a couple feet onto the door, that I can put several half-inch bolts through and hang over a J-bolt. And that way I'll have a more solid hinge than you really can buy most places. These are 25 bucks a piece on the internet, and they're not as thick as this. And look, now that I got it figured out, they're all going to be exactly the same size. These 5/8 J-bolts are huge, and they go through 5 inches of casing that I have around the door, and then they're bolted on the top and the bottom. This will be far more than enough to support these doors. Once I got the door hung, I realized I didn't want it to be quite so far forward, and so I just tightened the bolt up here on this side of the cabin as far as I possibly could, that would bring the door as close as to level with the wall as possible, and then I'll just tighten it again from the inside. From this angle, you can see the backside of the J-bolt, and you can start to see the bolts from the strap that go through the door. So far, I've cut the door real tight, because I want it as tight as possible, really, but pretty well as to be expected. It catches on the deck as it goes out. So now all I have to do is snap a line from the inside corner toward the hinge where I want it to be as flush as possible, and just cut that little bit off. It turned out to be, about 7 inches at about 1/4 inch, and taking that off made it so the door could freely swing all the way open and close with no problem. Surprisingly, quite a few people have voiced their opinion that they're concerned about weather, you know, maybe breeze coming through the door or something like that. And it's really not a big deal. It's quite easy to you just build a casing on the inside. So a strip of wood around the inside perimeter of the door, put a weather strip on it, and then a threshold at the bottom, and it'll be completely airtight. There will be no way for any breeze or wind or rain or anything to come into the door. And someone else said they were afraid the doors would just whip open or closed. Well, first of all, they're over 100 pounds a piece. I doubt they'll really move very often at all. And then second, I bought these little locks that attach to the bottom inside of the door, like many French doors have. And so what you can do is, if you want one door to just stay closed all the time, you can just slide that lock down. If you want them both locked, you can slide them both down. One or the other or both. This is the home stretch of the cabin build. I only have to get one last load of lumber to finish the sheathing and siding for the cabin. Therefore, I've taken my webinar series, it's an 8-hour series, for $300. I marked it down to only $50. And anyone that buys it this week, I'm going to throw in all 3 of my ebooks as well. That's a $350 value for $50 on my website if you want to check that out. And for everyone else, 20% off with code 20 off YouTube. Come here, Snapes. Sit. Are you getting excited? Are you getting the zoomies? You getting the zoomies? Oh man. Zoomies, zoomies. Zoomy, zoomy, zoomy. Yeah, oh my gosh. There he goes. There he goes. I'm excited too, buddy. We did a good job, huh? Yeah, there goes the door. Yeah. Yeah, we did a good job. Good job, buddy. Thanks for helping me. Thank you. Careful, careful, careful. Don't cut your foot or nothing. Thanks for helping me. So I made that trip over to Collier's roof. I only needed one last piece of fascia for the cabin, and I was pretty excited that I was going to be in the neighborhood anyway. So I took a little extra trip out there and got this piece, and I guess none of us really thought it through very well, because as I went to put the piece in, it's smaller than the other fascia pieces, and so I'll still have to get that piece. I'll still have to get that piece of fascia, but otherwise, you know, the shop roof and the entire cabin roof is completely done except that one piece.